But let's get you informed. To our top story tonight, there is no Singapore. That is the verdict of experts who say the journey to the Asian economic tiger is a pipe dream, which may not be achieved even with the Vision 2060. President William Ruto has repeatedly held up Singapore as a model of Kenya's economic transformation. The experts say Kenya would need to grow income per person 40 times fold to reach Singapore's current level. Grace Nganga starts her bulletin with that story as the Vision 2060 national conversation began.
Ile Singapore tunasema tutaanza kuona kwa macho.
Singapore has been presented as the destination.
Hiyo barabara ya kuunganisha wa Kenya, ya kufanya kazi pamoja, ya kuhakikisha kwamba vijana wako na nafasi ya ajira, hiyo ndio barabara itatufikisha Canaan tukipitia Singapore.
But for now, Kenya is still a very long way from getting there. At the launch of the Beyond Vision 2030 conversation, Duke University Professor Hiroyuki Hino offered a reality check on Kenya's much talked about Singapore dream.
Reaching Singapore's level of development in the next 30 to 40 years will be difficult.
Over the last 20 years, average household income per person per day has risen from about 291 shillings to 455 shillings. Progress, but not anywhere near Singapore.
Singapore's level of income per person last year exceeded $80,000. This in Kenya, the income was just over $2,000. Huge difference.
A gap of roughly 40 times. And closing that gap will not happen overnight. Hino says Kenya would need to grow income per person by more than 10% every year for about 35 years to reach Singapore's current level.
That is a very tall order. Reaching Singapore's current income level requires another 5 percentage point income growth every year. That's hard.
Putting the spotlight on the economic strategy being pursued by the Ruto administration. The government has placed significant emphasis on infrastructure and investment, including the National Infrastructure Fund, which is expected to mobilize private capital for projects such as roads, airports, dams, and electricity transmission. But Hino says economic transformation cannot be measured by projects alone.
Economic growth and large investment projects are important. However, ultimately, a government is judged by how well it improves the economic and social well-being of every citizen. Inequality in Kenya is high. Kenya is an unequal economy. The poorest 20% of Kenyans receive only 5% of national income, whereas the richest 20% receive one half.
Vision 2030 has only 3 years left. And as Kenya looks beyond it, the challenge is not simply setting another ambitious target. It is turning economic growth into higher incomes, better jobs, and a better quality of life.
So Kenya must accelerate economic growth first. It should tighten fiscal policy, increase investment in infrastructure, on essential services, and bring public debt under control. Increase government support to people in need of help. In Singapore, the government transfers about $7,300 per person per year. In Kenya, guess how much? $220.
For now, the number suggests that Singapore remains less a destination Kenya has reached and more a distance dream it is still trying to catch. With the launch of Vision 2030 and President William Ruto's dream of transforming Kenya into Singapore, the biggest question now is, can Kenya transform from a developing economy to a first-class powerhouse in a generation? Grace Nganga.